Good morning, all. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a crazy morning so far in the markets. They're moving up and they're moving down. Um, Interesting that the S&P 500 here is uh, more volatile than Bitcoin, which is really interesting. Um, big, pretty, fairly big moves in regards to um, the movement this morning. I mean, if you look at last night in comparison, we had a decent sell-off on the S&P 500 from 80. Where I think the peak was like 81 down to 60, or 81 down to 40, 41. So it's 40 points, and then it rallies from 41 points all the way up to 720, which is basically 80 points. So it's a some pretty big, huge rallies here. So um, yeah, it's just it's not. I wasn't expecting it to be so big, but it was. So it's actually pretty cool. But in comparison to Bitcoin, which normally we see, cryptocurrencies really move whenever the S&P 500 move, and it really didn't move as much. So for me, it just was kind of more or less like kind of shocking. So it's really interesting to see what's actually happening there. Um, Here we are. So where are we going to next? So real quick, some really interesting news this morning, which I find really, really unique. Markets today is looking awful on my end. Markets are good, Marshmallow Man. I really find, well, they're moving, right? So for me on my end, I just like them moving. When they don't move, I don't really make any money. But when they do move, I'm able to make some money. So it's really interesting to sit there and kind of gauge what's actually going on. Um, Backside as well is um, they, crypto markets typically act pretty violently when we see the S&P 500 act. It's almost like its older brother, and it's not. So that's what's really interesting within the markets today. They're kind of chill. They're almost like if you saw your older sister going crazy, you're kind of like the little brother, little sister, kind of going like, man, they're acting crazy right now. So versus being crazy with them. So it's a really unique day today in the crypto markets in comparison to the traditional markets. So that's uh that's a unique thing. That's a really unique thing. Um, Let me go ahead. Hey, I'm gonna send you an invite as well. So have you come in and check us out. Give me 1 second. Do not know why I don't have you in here. One moment. There you are, buddy. Oh, wrong one, bud. If you can make it in, it's cool. Give me 1 second. Bye. All right. So um, the markets are really unique. Pretty much recapturing that sell-off down to our lower levels here. When it comes down, we'll see what happens. But it's showing some strength. It is showing some strength here. So 42 all the way up to, I mean, it blew through 700 mark here like nobody's business, and then all the way up to 728. So that's a fairly good run here, and then saw it come back down. So these movements it's looking like we're going to start seeing some more volatility at these levels again, um, and some big moves. And these are good just simply because it does allow the institutions to make cash when we have big moves, when they have big moves with their own day trading software and everything they have going on as well. So it's really interesting to see. And the fact is that it's mid morning or late morning, and we already have half of the normal volume. So I think it's going to be some more volume stepping in. It's the third week of the month, which means expiration of options. And we know that there was some large options coming in. Won't be able to at the moment because of the kiddos. No worries, but it's all good. Um, but yeah, it's real interesting seeing a lot of options expiring and people positioning themselves for the next month or the following week of October. So we all know what October 29th entails. Typically, it's a volatile day. So we'll see what happens with it. Um, I believe 29th is the actual Saturday. So the 28th is really, I guess that would be the weekend, right? That we would sit there and see what's going to happen there. So we'll find out. Alrighty, let's go right into oh, the news real quick. So there's some pretty big news that we've actually been seeing in the market here. Um, One in particular, there was a leaked um, proposed law that was leaked. And what's interesting is, some people say it is kind of good for crypto because it helps centralize some things within it and brings laws and allows people to be able to get in, like institutional investors to be able to get into crypto. But then there are other people who are more of the DeFi mindset, and they are screaming, that that it's going to make everything just kind of fall apart. It's going to take away a lot of freedoms from crypto because it's going to basically put some handcuffs on DeFi, making people really dox themselves and really kind of KYC themselves overall, as well as the people who come in and invest into their project. So it's a really interesting view, like as we move forward in DeFi, there's really going to become this push of if you're going to launch a project, right? Because a lot of people have been rug pulled, a lot of people have been honey potted, right? And those things, that's a lot of money being, just stolen. So it's an interesting thing to sit there and see what's actually going on with this. I was just at an AMA over at the Coin Launch Lounge, and they were talking to this guy who is in the real estate world, and he's going through and he's bringing in real estate income into his investors who buy the coin, right? And it's real life, it's not metaverse real estate. This is real estate, like where you go and you buy it, and their primary holdings right now are in Southern California. But it's this idea of they're able to raise capital at the same time, get things going, and they are registered by the SEC. They have the AOK with a bunch of stuff that they have going on. So it's one of those things that, anybody who does invest into his pretty much DeFi project does have to dox themselves in a sense, right? And so they have to KYC. But in the same sense, you also have this revolutionary um, new product that they're bringing in, that they have, that they're really kind of, it's not necessarily revolutionary, but it's just a little bit different in regards to other real estate um, coins out there that have the way they're doing it. So it's just really interesting to see all this. But again, the guy understands that you've got to go through and you got to follow the rules in a sense to be able to bring in large investors. And so he's basically doing it, air quotes, the traditional way, as well as using DeFi to be able to propose and bring in new investors into his project. So it's one of those things that I just think it's a unique thing, right? Like DeFi is a unique thing. So do we squash it with legislation? I don't think that's the wisest thing, but we do need some type of regulation that stops the criminals from taking people's money. I know Kelvin with Riser, not Riser, excuse me, forgive me for that. That's actually the wrong. They actually have a great product that they're going through, and they are. Give me one second, I want to make sure I get that correct. Forgive me for that. AscendPad. Um, yeah, these are one of these things that there's just a lot, you know. Forgive me. I think I'm just messing this up completely. I am literally. Give me one second, my peoples. Calvin's gonna be like, dude, you're killing it. Give me one second. I should have. Give me one last thing here. I like what they're doing because I cannot find him for the life of me. I don't know what's going on. I believe it's Calvin. That must be, but I was expecting something else's. Yeah, Riser Swap. Um, they've got some really good stuff. So one last one here. Calvin Jones. The reason why I bring them up is they're another project that is really interesting because they're going through and they're talking they're basically going after criminals. That is, they're basically going after criminals that mess up, or not mess up, but that basically, um, I'm having issues with my computer, so I apologize behind that. You're basically going after criminals that are, no, it's not Riser Swap. I forgive me, it's not Riser Swap. It's for whatever reason I cannot find them here. And it is throwing things off. And I want to plug their protocol simply because I think that they're literally. I mean, the guy literally has um, the ability, literally, to go after. Yeah, it's not. It is not Riser. Riser Swap is another good organization. It seems like, um, but for whatever reason, I cannot find this guy. It looks like he deleted these. He thinks I'm a scammer. It looks like he deleted it. Anyways, that sucks. Send the pad. So it looks like it's a send the pad thing right here. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a send the pad. It's the organization. But basically, one of the things that makes them really unique is that they actually are going after the criminals, and that's what it is. It's a send the pad. I was right. So they're going after criminals that like we're self-governing right now, right? Like we don't necessarily need the institution or the government to come in and try to regulate us. And so it's going to be really interesting to see as people step up and start to really, you know, create projects that literally go after criminals, go after people that it may, in the long run, we don't necessarily need people to go after us because it's self-governing. Um, so it's going to be really interesting to see as we move forward with this new bill and as they come through. Um, what happens? What's going to happen and the fullness that goes along with that because we, it's a very unique process right now within the markets and with projects that are coming out. And now, I mean, with a lot more utility. It's not just a dog coin, or it's just not because they're a gimmick or a hype, but they're legitimately a real project, right? And they're bringing in cash. They do have quarterly earnings or monthly earnings that they will be able to say, all right, we made X amount of money within the business, and just distribute that throughout the coin holders or the investors. So it's an interesting thing as we move forward and how things start to progress. It's that in a nutshell. Let's go into the actual market here and check things out. So now, as you guys can see, that we're bouncing off the 8 and the 20 period moving average. It did hold. Sold off, and looks like it's coming back and finding some type of support here. If it do continue up, we will most likely blow through this 8 period moving average. But I do have a smaller time frame, 4-hour zone right here myself. So when we hit it, we'll see what happens. But in addition to that, we also have another zone right up in this level, S&P 500, in which we'll hit that 200 period moving average, where we also have the 50 period moving average here at this level. So real interesting to see as we move forward into next week. We have a lot of news coming out next week, so we'll see what happens. NASDAQ pretty much looks the same way, just a different name and different numbers, but looks wise, it pretty much is doing the same thing. Only difference is we're not above that 20 period moving average, and we're ping-ponging off the moving averages here. So it's really interesting to see that it was not able to get above here. We are playing off of, like I said yesterday, that 250 period moving average again as we're playing here. So I do see us maybe selling off a little. Now, I want to bring this up because one of the strongest companies in the world is Apple. And Apple here is showing some unique areas here that we're playing off of. So it is put a lower low here. I expected it to go a little bit further, but we kind of came here. So we're hitting that 20 period moving average, but we're putting in seller wicks here on the day chart. So for me, I do see this selling off into next week. So it'll be interesting to see as we keep moving. But shoot. See, there we go. So really interesting to see as we move forward. All right, guys. Pointing this out. Now let's go into Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is looking pretty much the same way. Or excuse me, not looking the same way. It actually is doing the opposite. It's actually going sideways here. So it's pretty dope. There, you guys are sitting there telling me it right there. It's in the pad. What's up, Ray? How you guys doing? Is that, yeah, that was you. The other real estate company that I was checking out or that I was watching was called USPC. They were pretty dope. The one who recovered their IP funds. Yeah, exactly. They were the ones who recovered their own IP funds. That was a in the pad. So they were pretty, I mean, it was on point. I sat there in amazement, just being like, wow, that's the type of power that we're going to see coming into the market. Thanks, guys. I see that now. I was actually looking at something else here, trying to find them. So you guys are telling me right there, right in the, you guys were there too as well at the AMAs. So yeah, that's something to be paying attention to, guys, because as a trader or an investor in a project, you want to be able to see that if somebody comes in And here's the best part about Cinepad, right? And I think they're going to be offering the service, which is huge, is it's just not trying to find these people through the internet, right? And it's sending them protocols or cease and desist and get back their funds. These guys have the power to be able to put boots on the ground and go knocking on their door to the thieves and saying, uh, "We are going to arrest you now. Hand up the funds, and we'll let the things go, or you guys are serving life in prison." So it's really interesting to sit there and see this, right? Because you can see it we can follow the funds, right? But if they are stolen. So this is the thing that I totally dig off of more than anything is that they actually have the power to put boots on the floor. And one of the guys, like this, not, I don't think the CEO, but I think he is like now the CEO. I forget his name. Calvin. If you could, man, that'd be awesome. Let me know. But it they're able to put boots on the floor and get the UN involved. It's a really unique. It's this is coming into crypto. We're gonna see this type of stuff where I believe we'll see self-regulation, and then the U.S. government will try to come in. We'll be like, no, 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 bro, we got it. You can chill. So we'll see what happens as we progress, though. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. The one that did that right. You're correct. So let's jump right in here real quick to Ethereum here. Ethereum is looking pretty like the same thing. Like, look, guys, we are going sideways here. We are in between that 50 period moving average right here, which is the low, right? And then we have the 200 period average on the weekly sitting above us right here. So we're playing off of these. Now we are starting to come down. That 8 period moving average is starting to come down. So next week, as we come through, it's going to be down in this area here. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens because that means there probably will be a crossover of that 200 period moving average here. If the 8 crosses that 200, we'll see a sell-off here. And so it's something to be paying attention to as we now progress and get closer to almost this junctional turning point with Ethereum. But that isn't for maybe a week or two out. So, but I'm just giving you guys heads up of that. We are, like I said, did see some big selling wicks in the past few weeks. Last week we did have a pretty big buyer wick come in. So this is always a little difficult to be able to gauge what it wants to do. I believe because the majority of the SMAs are above us right here, that there is more pressure to the downside than to the upside, simply because it's going to take a lot more pressure to push this up. And as we keep sitting here and going sideways, these will continue to come down and put pressure on the markets to go down here. So really interesting to see. BNB is similar, except the fact is that we are ping ponging off of that 20 and that 80, or that 20 and 8 period moving average as we move throughout the week. As you can see here, we've been playing off of that. On the daily chart, it's important to be paying attention here as well, that the market is pretty much going sideways still. We're in between the stage of 300 and 250 area here, playing back and forth. So we are coming down to these lower levels here where we're going to see some buys probably. The only thing is, though, is that we are now starting to trend off of the 8 period moving average. So we're starting to come down. We came up, tried to retrace, and it was not able to get above that 20, as you guys can see here. So if we close the week off below this, we should see a lower count here, or a lower low at these levels. If we do climb before that, you guys can see here as we closed here, we put in lower levels, came back up, put a lower high, and I'm going to put a lower low and then a lower high based off of what I see here currently. When we look at XRP here, XRP is looking pretty strong here just simply because it is holding off of that 8 period moving average that we bounced off of here. So like I said, we have these higher time frame SMA sitting here on the weekly and on the monthly. All right, that month we have the 8. It did hold the price from moving up. Didn't even get up to our supply zone, but literally just sold off to it. So for me, as I'm looking at these levels, this will probably hold, right? Like these will hold. Um, and it's what it's looking like. So if most likely, if they hold into the week, uh, we, we will see we'll see it come down and test these lows here, right? That I've been talking about. It's key to understand as it tests these lows, if we aren't able to stay above that 8 period moving average, this will be coming and testing these levels. And remind you that we're at a weekly. This is a weekly chart, right? So that's that's a good distance, right? This is what we moved in a week. We're talking another movement down into these lower levels here, right? That I have marked out, which is between the 38 cent mark as well as that 37 cent mark. So be paying attention to this area for all of that. Good times, good fun. All right, let's look at Solana. Solana is again selling off more. Like I said here, I do see us coming down into these lower levels, the $18, $17 mark. It's going to be interesting to see if it does hold its low. I don't think they will, just simply because we're seeing volume step up here, right, as we're selling off. So if we start to see even more come in and kick off, maybe another area for them to push it down to load up for institutional buying opportunities. Um, again, I said yesterday, it all depends also on the fundamental aspect that they have a real business, right? Where they are going to be trying to get into the cell phone world for mining. Me and Marshmallow were talking about yesterday the advantageous effect to be able to draw clients just to simply hold by their phone and then mine it. That adds an additional thing. But we also know that the Tesla phone is coming out and that they're going to be doing something similar where you be able to mine. So that's a big thing. Will Apple come in and offer the ability to be able to mine as well cryptocurrencies? That would be something that I would switch over. I deal with other phones, right? I don't like the evil empire, but I'd go over to the dark side, man, for Apple. If Apple offered mining of coins, I'd be like, that's a no-brainer, man. That's gonna pay for itself down the road. So, you know, that'd be something that I would definitely look. So if anybody knows Apple or any CEOs of Apple or can communicate with them, let them know. You would win over the crypto community if they just simply offered a feature where I could go in and be able to mine crypto with their phone, right? That would be, and if there was going to be a company that had the funds, that had the ability to be able to pay software engineers to be able to set that up, it would be them. I mean, truly them. And they already have the customer base. They already have the whole entire thing. So it's not like they would need to advertise and get it out there, right? Or get it out there throughout the world. So it's something to be, thinking about and considering if down the road if they decided they want to do it. So Solana is here selling up, as we can see. If we get into the higher time frames here, or the lower time frames, not higher time frames, lower time frames here, we can see a couple interesting things. As we're selling off, they are buying. So you guys can see here that people are buying. There's not a lot of seller wicks as we're going down. So it's one of those things that I can see them definitely rallying up once we get to a support level here. It might even be here, come and retest to a higher, to the 8 period moving average and then sell off. That is something that I do see, but I do see them continuing going lower here as just simply because I feel like there's more buying opportunity down at these levels versus these levels. But as we're going down, you can see that we've been following that 8 period moving average, right? And then we come back and retest that 50 period moving average every time, right? Boom, sell off, we come and test, and then they drop down. So we have these lower lows and lower highs as we continue. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens at this level. I personally think they're going to sell off, come back, retest, and then continue down for another leg down. So something to be paying attention to, guys. Also, let's check out DOT. DOT is looking weaker as we speak. They are selling off here even further. Like I said, that 489 area is the area that I'm definitely considering. You can see where it was a sell-off, come back, retrace, and then now selling off even below. Be ready for some type of bounce back at this level here, which is the low of the whole entire movement. If we go in, let's check out the 30-minute. Do we see seller wicks at these levels versus buyer wicks, right? That's what I'm looking at. And again, I do see more or less buyer wicks as we move forward. So pardon me guys for that. As it's moving, though, you can see here that it is picking up volume on sellers. You can see that, right? Like here's the volume on sellers stepping in as we're coming down, and then it drops off as it moves up. So that's the only caveat that I am seeing here of it continuing up, even though we do lack sellers. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that. We could see this thing fall below here even further though. All right, guys, next is checking EDA. Go to Cardano. Cardano did buy, excuse me, not buy, did sell off below these 34 mark area here. We are following that 8 period moving average really strong. Let me go ahead and change these up here real quick. We'll hit this. Let's make that red here. So previous demand becomes, right, current supply. We could sit here and also play off of this daily zone right here as well. So I'll probably, as we start to move, if we start to see retracement back up to these levels, then I'll probably be have a smaller zone in between here, like you've seen what I've done on a few of the other charts. So, but this is again one of those things that they are selling off pretty strong. Like I said, and they're following that 8 period moving average really well, right? So it's going to be pretty hard for them to break through it the first time. So you can see here they've hit it, and they've hit it to an exact on that daily. So it's something to be paying attention to as we continue down. Like I said, I'm extremely bullish at that 15-cent mark for Cardano. Like I said, I still think they're a great company. I think they're doing some good stuff for crypto. We'll find out if they're able to hold that level when they do come into it. Dogecoin, as we can, sorry, let's check out the weekly. I apologize. The weekly here, as you guys can see, we do have those higher time frame SMA stepping in and continuing to push it down here. That A is now starting to trend there on that weekly. So, make sure that you guys are mindful of that, simply because as it starts to, if it does decide to rally, it might come back and hit these levels down the road. Change the color. So, yeah, guys. So this is it right here. For myself, if this does come back and hit this level here by retracement, I would definitely be looking to short off of this from that level. In addition to that, you can see again how we're starting to see a sell-off into the markets. Hey, what's up, Adolfo? The man on the street. How you doing? Are you there, buddy? Well, hello. Maybe he's not.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm all right. You?
Doing good, man. Looking at these charts here. It's Adolfo, the man on the street, working, trying to earn some ducats so that he can throw it into crypto. How's your day, man? Hello? We're missing. Lost contact with the man on the street. Man on the street. Oh, there you are.
No. On my
Say again? You're breaking up on us.
I was asking if you saw the my comment yesterday.
Oh, I did. Let's go.
No.
What was the?
LFG was up 173%.
Oh, LFG. I thought it was let's go.
No,
LFG.
my comment was
We'll check
LFG
out.
up 173%.
Shoot, listen. Let's get through this real quick. I got a couple more to go. Let's go check out LFG here real quick. That'd be really interesting. Here, guys, you can see here, like I said, with ADA, we're coming down. I do see it's coming down to that 15-cent mark. We've already broken here, and it's just one straight shot down here. If you go look at coin market cap, so it's pretty clear that we're probably going to come through. If we come here straight, then be ready for a quick retracement, right? It'll be real quick. Boom, boom. If we see a lower highs and lower lows, we'll definitely see some unique situation where we'll find out when we get to this level if we have higher highs and higher lows, like a cascading stair effect. We will see again even go further than 15 cents, past 15 to 11 cents. But we'll see what happens when we get there. When we check out Doge, I always bring up, and these guys are fighting. This is a real fight in the trading world. They are not budging in between these levels here. So it's going to be really interesting. I wonder if we're going to break through this 8-period moving average just simply because of what's going on that weekly. From a daily standpoint, again, it looks the same. Look, we are going sideways here with buyers and sellers on both ends. So we just don't know what's up. Right here, as we look at Matic is looking actually fairly strong because we're putting in higher highs and higher lows here. And in additionally to that, when we look at that weekly chart, look, we came through, we tested these higher supply zones, and we broke through here. Okay, this is huge because that means that there's buyers that want to push us higher. So I might retract such a bullish statement that I think they might come down here. It all depends on how they finish the week off. They did tap that 8-period moving average on that monthly. So this is a big indication, right? We're ping-ponging off of this supply and demand zone down in this levels here, guys. So if we start to see sellers starting to step in at a higher level, then be ready for it to come down into these lower levels. But particular, it did go through that 20 period or that 100 period moving average that we hit on the weekly, right? Or excuse me, not 100. 20 period moving average. I don't even know why I said. Anyways, it's a 20 period moving average that we can get. So we've been pinging off of this. But I do think, though, because of the previous week buyer wick, that we'll probably want to see this go higher. We did come up there and then we sold off. But again, like we came through that area. So that's huge, guys. That's huge. That's huge. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to put a higher low in and then continue it up even further. Let's check out Shiba. Shiba here is looking fairly weak here. We're continuing down to the descent. But again, I want to point out that there is a lot of buying and selling here. This isn't one of those things that's just quickly moved. There are a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers. We're continuing down onto that 8. I am bullish down at the 858 as well as the 682 area. So for me, I think we'll probably come down here before we see some major buying or some major sell-off. So either way, I am looking for those areas to be getting into the market. My biggest thing is I want you guys to point out, as we're moving down, are we seeing buyer seller wicks as it's moving down, right? That's really what we're looking for. Buyer wicks means that the interest is still into this, even though it's going down, like right here, right? We had a big sell-off, but look, we had a giant buyer wick step in. We saw it come up. Now, as it's moving down into the lower levels, we're not seeing a lot of seller wicks, but buyer wicks stepping in. Again, this means that there is interest into this area here. Most likely, it will follow that 8 as we hit it and continue down. But be paying attention to the idea that there are buyers stepping in with buyer wicks. All right, guys, that's in a nutshell. Let's check out what is it? LRXLM? No. I'm saying it wrong. LFG. That's where we are. So it's LFG Inu, Adolfo. No, that's not it. Let's try. LFG games. Here we go. Oh yeah, I see it. Rallied hard. Boom over here. Let's see. Let's check it out here, guys. Yeah, man, that shows strength, man. That's nice. What's their market cap? $500,000. It's fairly good, man. Um, looking nice, man. Starting to put in. They put that big buyer wick here, so that was huge defense against the sellers, man. It's real interesting to sit there and see that. Do they come out with a new yeah, come on in here, Daniel, or Adolfo, when you got time, so we can sit there and talk about this. All right, guys. So looking at this here, I'm seeing this. Huh? Let's do those indicators in here real quick. Arion, I can't hear you, but you got to put in the device here. There you are. Hey, what's up, Arion? How you doing today? You
Pedro, what's up, bro? Doing great. How are you doing?
doing good. How is Europe doing so far today? You guys, it's evening for you guys, right? Friday evening.
It's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Yeah. It's great, man. It's great. Has been a busy day.
Good.
Market looks good. There were some volume in there.
Yes.
Some good trades.
Yes. Yeah, it was actually really good trading this morning. Really good trading. So, we haven't really had some major moves like that. So I appreciate that. What's up with you? What trades were you looking at today?
I haven't done much. I have other stuff to focus. And I'm quite busy with the launch, but yeah, I'm just checking. I have few entry points that I'm waiting for.
Yes.
If this trigger, I will jump in. I actually missed this bottom this morning, my time.
Oh, that stinks, man. I hate that when that happens.
It
That's
was
why.
really good. It could have been like but 20, how much was it? 20, 30%
Sell off.
profit. Yeah. I mean, if I had bought the bottom
Which one was it? Was it crypto? Which one was it? Was it
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin? Or,
Bitcoin, yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, Bitcoin was looking nice, man. Had that nice little sell off there too. It was very clear that it was gonna move up, like from here. Like there were no seller wicks up in these levels here, so it was definitely at least coming up to our area here. I'm on the higher time frames. So as I started to see support on that 8 period coming in, and with no seller wick stepping in, it was just like, yeah, it was a no brainer. It was a no brainer to be able to play off of that as we started moving higher. Um, just letting it run. You're already in profit, so let this trade run throughout the day. I mean, we could see this come back up into that 8 period moving average as we continue. So we didn't put any lower highs here or lower lows here. We went higher. We had a high and then a lower high and then a higher high and a lower high. So the next one we should be gauging is a new higher high coming in. Now, also as we're moving, be paying attention. The fact is that we are now starting to put in some seller wicks with not a lot of buyer wicks, right? But it doesn't mean that it's going to stop, right? It just means that maybe tomorrow they're going to do a sell off with this. But yeah, I agree with that. I do. It was really nice. It could just been fun at the bottom with the buyer wicks.
What about you? What are you focusing on? Any trades?
Yeah, so I was able to trade the ES here. And by the way, there's a dude on Twitter that is just like, it's so annoying. I can't believe what they send you privately. Like, and the part is like you can block somebody, but they immediately come out with something else. And so it's just it's so annoying. Sorry. I was posting my stuff on Facebook, not on Facebook, posting my trades that I was getting in on my Twitter account. And then this guy still harassing me. He's probably been harassing me almost a month now, a month and a half. And no matter what you do, man, he just, like, I can block him, whatever. He just comes back. So I don't understand it, man. I just don't understand somebody's mindset. He keeps basically asking me for money, calling me for all this stuff, saying that he'll expose me. And I'm like, dude, what can you expose, bro? Like, there's nothing to expose. Like, anyways, sorry, random side thing. So I basically stopped showing my trades on Twitter just because people hit you up for money like constantly. Do you have that? Do you deal with that?
No, I haven't so far. I mean, when it comes to Telegram, people were creating fake accounts with my name, etc.
Yeah.
So which is kind of annoying, but no, I didn't have anything like that.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, so I was trading the S&P 500, coming down and seeing the sell-off here. I actually got tricked a little. I expected us to kind of see a sell-off down into these lower levels. So I went short, got stopped out right here. But then, I was noticing I wasn't too sure right here. But then once we put in a certain amount of seller wicks, I said, oh, they're pushing it up. So I came here. No, it was a 30 minute. It was 30. No, it was 30. It was an hour. No, it wasn't an hour. It's different on my other. Anyways, so we came down to the 8 here as we were selling off, where I got stopped out. I got, because I was looking to go short, and I got stopped out as we went up higher, and then it basically sold off again. And I noticed that we were actually putting in buyer stuff here, and so I said, well, I think we should change the off the analysis because we put in different wicks here. So I said, I'm going to go long down in here primarily because we have a buyer wick establishing orders here coming down off of this. So I basically caught this run from here to here. Once we went below here, then I was out. When it comes to Bitcoin, like you said, Bitcoin was pretty simple for me. Once we went above here, we started putting in those buyer wicks down in here, and I had support here on the A. I was able to capture from here to here, more like right here. This is where, like, once we closed below here, I sat there and I said, we'll see what's up. We closed. I didn't want to play with this, so I was done. So I was happy from here to here for that profit. Yeah, that's in a nutshell what it was. Ethereum was moving, but I didn't get into Ethereum. I like Bitcoin just a bit because it does have more volume per se, especially when you trade the futures on this, with the CME futures. So that's why. That's in a nutshell what we're seeing. So yeah, that's what I was in. I also had a few other trades here. Cold was kind of simple this morning as it was moving up. I did capture this area right here this morning. I was in here. This is it. Oh, this must have been this one, but I don't remember getting it right in this level. It didn't look like this at this. Oh no, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was right here because it was right before I was getting everything ready for the for the show. And so we had a bunch of we had nothing really telling me that this was here, so that's why I went long. And then I don't think, yeah, I got out right in here. This was like up in this area was my target area here because what is it? Yeah, that's why, because of the A period moving average that we were sitting. There we go. GC. That's where it is. Boom. So go like what? Boom. So we're coming down. We bounced off of this area here. We basically were, to me, that's not right. Anyways, I went long around this area here, and then caught about right here where that daily moving average was sitting. That's pretty much it where my trades were. DXY for me has been a bit of a sore point, simply because we're selling off on these levels. I really do think that we're coming up here at these levels here, but we are putting in some lower lows or some lower highs here. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen towards the end of the week here. If this does hold, man, at these levels, then we'll definitely see this rally up even higher. So on a weekly chart here, if you look at those daily, like the daily stuff here, it's just kind of going sideways at this level here. So I don't know if they're just accumulating or are they looking to push the market up even further. This big seller does indicate to me that it was rejected and that they're looking to put it down, but we still have a lot of resistance, or not resistance, but support below us, where it's going to take some time for it to actually decouple if we do see it start to sell off. So that's it in a nutshell. I didn't get into the dollar, but it was one of the things that I was looking at to get into one of my trades. So yeah, that's it. Real interesting times in the market, you know.
Yeah, and there is not that much activity in the markets, to be honest. It's kind of boring to wait for entry points and all that stuff.
Well,
there is no movement.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, though, like, right, so we see Shiba, right? Like, Shiba is continuing down into these lower levels, right, that I've been talking about for a while now. If we see what was it, Matic, right? Matic, no, not Matic, ADA. selling off as well. So that's another area here that we could see it start to come down into the areas of where it'd be smart to buy as we see a sell-off. I mean, literally cut Cardano in half, right? If we do see it sell off from the 35 to the 15-cent area. I forget what ADA's where's it at? Come on. Boom. Yeah, their market. Where is it at? Oh, market cap right here. Yeah, they're at 11 billion, so they could get down to that 5 billion mark here, area here if they continue down, which would put them at these lower levels right here for the actual, like they'd be down by where Shiba Inu is. Oh snap! So yeah, that's kind of like what I think what's going on right now. It's just that the market is looking to sell off down into these lower levels. Overall, you know, like I will probably see a market cap of 500 billion within probably within 6 months, 3 to 6 months, simply because of what's coming forward within. If they don't, if some of the regulations that kick in that they're proposing within crypto come through, I don't know people will want to get in, right? Because that's what kind of, I don't know, it's just interesting with the bills that they have coming. Will institutional investors really step in hard? I don't know. I don't know. We are seeing money step out of crypto over the last 2 quarters, quarter upon quarter. There's not a lot of money coming into crypto. I mean, there's still money. There's still hundreds of millions of dollars coming in, but on a like grand scale that we saw at the peak, not necessarily as much. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, like, on the backside, I think to myself, like, is it, are they pulling out for now and just kind of waiting to see from more of an institutional standpoint? That's one of the things I was looking at and thinking about. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. It's a really strange situation. I mean, you can't. I could say you can't really know, and all of that because of what's going on in the world in general. So I think, yeah, Fed is set to raise the interest rate by 0.25% up. So that adds additional to what is already. I think it's 6.5 so far, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So they are adding that on top, and I think it will go way higher.
Yeah.
It will reach 10% for sure.
And that's where I look at going, like, we have some major stuff going on. Like, this is a big deal, and for people to like sit there and just be like, oh, we're gonna go to the moon. Like, that's why I'm like, we have so much coming down the road for bearish news that it's hard for me to think that the crypto market is not going to go unscathed. It's weird. I mean, people don't want to hear this, right? Like, every time I bring this up, but I do see the S&P 500 coming down to, like I said, that 1,800 mark. That's half of it. Man, it's more than half of where it's sitting right now, right? Will it get there overnight? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, man, and that's why, all these, because we have adoption, we see all the big companies, big banks that are getting in, but they are not putting any money. But all of them, they are hiring people when it comes blockchain devs and all that stuff. So But yeah, none of them are putting money. So why don't they buy? I mean,
Because
Bitcoin and all the rest of the crypto are, yeah, they're sitting in a good price. So why aren't they buying? So
yeah,
maybe because they know that it will go lower.
I mean, if I can get it at 17 or 18,000, and I know that I'm waiting for price to get down to 15, 10,000. Why would I put? I mean, I would, you put in small, like they're putting in $10,000, $15,000 an hour, right? Which isn't nothing. I know it sounds like for us commoners, 10, $5,000, $10,000 is a lot of money every hour. But when they're dealing in trillions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars every single day, or hundreds of millions of dollars every single day that they're making just in trading, that isn't anything for them, like literally nothing, right? So it's one of those things that like when I think of a if down at these lower levels, like they're literally waiting for major sell-offs so that these institutions can get in and buy at those lower levels. And so I feel like that's why like we're seeing volume step aside. We're not seeing sell-off, meaning people sell their positions, but where it's just kind of waiting, right? It's just kind of like, and I just think that's what's going to happen. And as we start to see, like you said perfectly, the Fed raise the rates even further. This is where it's inevitable, right? Like I just look at it as inevitable news, and it's not a bad thing, right? But just part of it. It's just part of the situation.
Yeah, just accumulate cash on the side and wait for the dips. That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
that's
But
exactly.
yeah, yeah, man, I will have to get
Get going.
another call. But yeah, always great catching up with you, man.
Definitely.
Keep
Thanks for coming in.
keep doing what you're doing, bro. See you later.
Talk to you soon. Later. Bye. All right, guys. That's it in a nutshell. Too. I'm gonna cut out here real quick, but I just want to just pop in and say hi. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and I will talk to you guys on Monday, unless there's some major movements in the crypto markets. Many blessings, and I will talk to you guys soon.